Thanks for watching this new video. The topic is API discovery and security for Big IP. On the last years, I presented several API security and discovery capabilities with F5, and I did focus mainly on the first one, the API discovery in our SaaS platform, the F5 distributed cloud platform, or commonly known as XC. So there is a video on it, you can watch it and you will see all the API security and discovery capabilities when an application is exposed on a SaaS platform, F5 SaaS platform. But we do have a lot of customers with Big IP on premises, in a public cloud, in private zone and private landing zone, and they don't want to expose their application and API on a SaaS platform. So that's why we deliver 3 more deployment model. And today we'll focus on the second one. It's a deployment model, so you're gonna see it's the same capabilities, but for Big IP. So in a nutshell, it's not just discovery, it's not just collecting logs and showing logs and shadow API on the UI. No, it's more than that. We collect data from the Big IP. I will show you exactly what we collect, how it's handled, how it's processed, but we process the data in order to provide incomes around APIs, endpoint, shadow APIs, zombie APIs. We detect also sensitive data, commonly known as PII, personal identifiable information, your social security number, driving license. We detect, we mask, and we can also protect this personal information. We're also capable to provide compliancy. We can tell this endpoint should be GDPR or this endpoint should be a PCI DSS. Okay, so we deliver a lot of information on the dashboard. But what's more, we also detect vulnerabilities. You know the OWASP top 10 for API? For instance, there is a broken authentication, the BOFLA, the BOLA. We're able to detect all these kind of attacks, okay? But on a Big IP. So in a nutshell, how it works, okay? So to make it simple, at the top, this is the F5 SaaS. It's only used for control plane, management plane. There is no data plane, okay? There is no traffic on this infrastructure. It's just there to collect some data and process these data. But the customer has premises, a data center, an Azure, AWS, landing zone, and it has a Big IP on it. For a while, the Big IP is running for a while, it has an LTM, an ASM, perhaps an APM, exposing web application and modern application. And we all know that a modern application has API. And we cannot protect a modern application like we used to do in the past for traditional application, okay? So the WAF is still required to protect the server framework, let's say, against famous attacks, okay, and well-known attacks with the signatures. But we also need now protection against API, okay, because you can exploit APIs. So let's say we have the consumers, okay, the Big IP, the application. So far so good. This has been working for a while. The Big IP is there for 7 years, working very well. And now we want to leverage the API security and discovery solution from F5. And the console is in the cloud, okay, but only the console is in the cloud. And what we are going to deploy next to the Big IP, we deploy a custom edge. Custom edge is a virtual machine. You deploy it in your hypervisor. And this custom edge will connect with a secure tunnel or 2 secure tunnels with our SaaS platform. And as you can see, there are several components into it. And the most important are the data encryption and the sensitive data masking. So the Big IP, first of all, will collect traffic logs or traffic data. I prefer the term data, okay? We collect the traffic data and we send these traffic data to the C, which is on-prem, okay? Totally on-prem, and the C on-premises will process those data. It will detect if a data is sensitive or non-sensitive. If the data is sensitive with sensitive information and pattern inside, it will mask and anonymize those data. So everything stay on-premises in the data center, okay? And the C will send only anonymized data and masked data to the cloud for a second processing in order to display the outcome in the console. And that's it, okay? So let's go to a demo. Let's see how we connect the Big IP to a C and how the C will display these outcomes. Let's do it. So Here, I am in my F5 Discovery Cloud tenant, and I told you the first things I need to have a CE, okay, a customer edge. So I deploy customer edge here. So first of all, I can show you I have a big IP over there, okay, so I will connect to it. So I can show you the outcome, but it's very simple, straightforward. Okay, this is my big IP. On my big IP, I have only one application, which is called App1, okay? App1 is a modern application with APIs. Here I have a CE. The CE is connected, okay, to my public cloud, to my SaaS, and I can see I have two pipes, one to London, one to Amsterdam. Control plane, purely control plane tunnel, okay? But this CE will be used to connect to the big IP. So what I'm gonna do, I will switch to my multi-cloud app connect menu, where I have the service discovery on the left, the service discovery function. I can discover services in Kubernetes with Consul, with big IP, and I have another one which is an early access, but I will show you in a future video, okay? But it is the same for Nginx, Kong, APG, or even big IP, but it's another one, okay? So let's focus on the big IP, and I will create a new service discovery. Okay, so let's create service discovery demo. I select my site, okay, my CE name was CE classic big IP Freenik. Okay, then I take the interface. If I have a DOPT, I can take inside and outside, but I know that it's inside. And then I just define my big IPs, clusters. Okay, so I only one big IP, so it would be easy. So classic big IP Azure. The management, I don't remember, let's see, 10.0.0.0, 10.0.4.4, 10.0.4.4. The management port is 443. Login, the password, I love mama 2025, very secure password, and I'm done, okay? Then I have some option if I want, because I will show you, to filter the virtual server to display. If I have 5,000 virtual server, I can make some regex here, but let's make it simple. Okay, so at this stage, the CE is communicating with the big IP to tell the big IP guide, prepare, okay? So please tell me your list of virtual servers. I need to know the virtual servers that are exposed on your Timos system, okay? So it takes some minutes, okay, in order to just to communicate, open the connection between the CE and the big IP, okay? It's not cloud to big IP, it's C to big IP, it's purely private. And then I'm gonna see the number of services. I should see one. Okay, so it took 30 seconds to get it. So I have one service, I click on it. Okay, so it will display the number of virtual server. A service is a virtual server. Okay, so it tells me, I can see that you have a virtual server called App1, okay, with some name. The name is what I just created, my service discovery, my big IP, and the name of the virtual server. Partition common, it's available, it's green, it's good. And so far, I don't have anything enabled. So what I'm gonna do, I will tell in my console, I will tell I want to get visibility, API discovery, API security for this virtual server. Okay, so I enable it per virtual server. This will reduce logs and CPU on every system. So it takes a few seconds to get it. Okay, so now it's enabled. And the last step is to configure API discovery and API security. Okay, so I will go to I can go directly to my virtual server on the WAP menu here, or I can click here. So now, as you can see on the left, if you know F5 Discovery Cloud, you can see that I have my SaaS load balancer or my SaaS virtual server. It's application exposed on the F5 POPs. We have more or less 30-ish POPs in the world. Okay, and I can see here my big IP virtual server. Okay, so I have a virtual server here on this big IP. Okay, you can see it is in Azure. It's a big IP version 21.0.0. And at the moment, there is nothing enabled on it. Let's enable it. So first of all, the definition. Yes, I want to enable the definition. Okay, so definition is a Swagger file. This application is an application that I know. The app owner delivered to me and provided to me the definition. So I select the definition and enable the API discovery. I have some question about it if I want. And the last one, not least, I can also select a custom sensitive data profile. Let's say you are in a country where your social security number has a specific pattern. You can create the pattern over there. Okay, so this is social security pattern from Italy, and then we will detect the social security number from Italy. I keep the default because the default are more than 400 PII patterns, very accurate, and it detects the French one. So this is good because in my demo we're gonna use a French SSN, a French phone number. It's detected by default. That's it. Finish. Okay, so from now, the big IP is sending API data, and only API, not web, only API request data to the CE. The CE process the data, anonymize the data, mask the data before sending this information to the cloud to display the result and the outcome in the console. Let me show you the outcome. Those are the outcomes. Okay, so I click on my virtual server where I go to security, and the security I can select my SaaS application or my big IP application. And as you can see, I have traffic, so API endpoint detected from the traffic. So this is from consumer, and I can see that, for instance, the post for animals has been discovered on the traffic and also in the Swagger. Okay, so as you can see, I have a lot of information. If I go to the right, I can see more. I can add more column if I want, like the compliancy. I can see also the authentication type, the attributes, okay, the sensitive data location, request, response. So I can see that this endpoint should be GDPR. I can see that I have some endpoint with a joy token in it, which is good. But let me go to one of them, which is, I can see two endpoints, two posts with a 90, a score, a rescore. If I click on the endpoint, I retrieve the same information on the top, okay, with the compliancy, for instance. I can see some sensitive data, a location, and an XFF. Okay, so it seems in the response header there is a location information. And if I go to security posture, I have some information also on the security posture. Okay, this one is mainly to tell me that it's a post. In this post, there are sensitive data. And if I want, I can change the state because I'm a SecOps, and I can say under review, or I can even create a ticket with Jira so that the DevOps or the app owner look at this issue. Okay, so as you can see, I have all information here directly from all my domains. I have different domains on a single page for this app, and I can change from table to graph, and it's very simple. Green, shadow, blue, light blue, discovered, consume, and dark blue, Swagger file. Okay, so I can see that the color endpoint is a shadow endpoint. Okay, if I go there, I can see it's here. Okay, so the API color is a shadow, so I should call the API owner to know if this shadow, if this API/colors is a legitimate endpoint or not, so that I can update the Swagger file. Okay, that's it for the video. Okay, so the goal was mainly to show the integration and how it's easy. As you can see, it took me 2 minutes. As soon as the CE is deployed, 2 minutes to interconnect with the big IP, collect the virtual server, enable the API discovery on the virtual server, and then I can get the outcome on the dashboard with a lot of insight, but it's not the purpose of the video. If you want to see all insight we collect, look at my F5 Distributed Cloud API discovery video, and I will put the link into this video so you can switch to this one, and you can see exactly what we collect, all the PIs, and what you can do with that. Thanks for watching.